reasons why Shubha keeps saying Sita, Sita, Sita is because she needs someone to blame if something goes wrong. Right? Okay, closer. Okay. So, about a couple of weeks back, when I got my author copies, I requested Shubha to go to R.K. Narayan's house and walk around with the book and take a video. Unfortunately, probably for the first time in her life, she ran into a hassle, which was the woman who stays in that little hut there, right? Was, really, I should say, shocked. And she said, "Illa, corporation or bandhitare," kind of thing. And so I'm wondering till today why she hasn't released that video. I think she's scared of the corporation people. But, well. So, before we start, imagine that you're in an aircraft and I am one of the stewardesses, and I'm telling you this in case of emergency, like, corporation people kind of storming the aircraft, please use the two exits on these two sides to escape, all right? Or alternately, we could all get aboard the Malgudi Express and hitch a ride with Rukmini Aunty and the R.K. Narayan fan club. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you aboard the Malgudi Express. Thank you for making it here on this cloudy Sunday evening. I know that Mysoreans don't come out over the weekend because of all those people from Bangalore, who crowd our city. So I really appreciate your willingness to venture out of your comfort zone today. I'd like to start with honoring a couple of people, a couple of friends who were with me when, Malgudi Express had not even pulled out of the railway station. So I go back to the pandemic days, you remember those days when we used to wash our hands endlessly or not touch our faces or keep vegetables away for 24 hours on a table, those days, right? So many of us during the lockdown were suddenly shut out with no books to read. Other people, yes, essential supplies were not there, but for people like me, suddenly you're left with no books to read. And so the books I had with me at that point in time was Natalie Jenner's Jane Austen Society and a very old copy of R.K. Narayan's My Days, if you remember that was his biography. So, as I read Natalie Jenner's book, I kept thinking, as I went through each chapter, I said, this reminds me of Pride and Prejudice, or, this reminds me of Emma or Mansfield Park. And, kind of kept thinking about it. And after I finished that book, I picked up R.K. Narayan's My Days. Of course, I'd read it several times before. My mother would have already planned. But this time my brain kind of clicked and connected the two books. And I thought, I wonder if I can try to do this with R.K. Narayan stories. But I needed a visual of the area where R.K. Narayan was and the museum is, and I needed someone who would go there and get me videos from there. So I reached out to my friend Ravi Kumar. We call him DK. I don't think is he here? He hasn't come? Oh, okay. Asked him if he could get me a video of those streets around it. He went during the lockdown and went around on his motorbike and got. At the same time, Shubha happened to check in on me. I was new to Mysore. I didn't know too many people. So she just called me to check in on me to ask, are you doing okay? And then I told her, I'm trying to get a video. She didn't know I was writing a book or any such thing. She didn't ask any questions. And what she does is she puts her 6-year-old son, Ishan, into the car, drives around that area, and before I know it, I have a series of videos in my hand. Now, all of us knowing Shubha, right? I personally think Ishan was driving the car and Shubha was, taking the video, but, let this be a secret between you and me, the audience here. Were you driving? So fast forward about 4 years later, and the book has been published, and it's now in my hands. Okay. So I'd like to give the first copy of the book to Ishan for driving the getaway car. So if you're planning a bank heist, Ishan, your man. One sec.
I'm taking one book.
Yeah, you go, Kiran.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು.
ಇಲ್ಲ, there's only me and Ishan. Right? Oh, book ಇಟ್ಕೋ ಯಶಾನಿಗೆ. Thank you, Ishan. And
wait.
the second person is not there, Ishan. I don't know why he didn't come, so you can get back.
Wait, then so, we'll take one picture.
Huh?
We'll take one more picture.
Okay.
With three of us holding.
Of course.
Sridhar wants the picture.
Sridhar wants the picture.
You should just hold the picture.
Yeah, you go.